If you are watching this, it's not because you're looking for dating advice. It's because you've reached a point of exhaustion. You are tired of the cycles, tired of the drama, and tired of feeling like you are losing pieces of your soul in the name of love. You've felt that cold, hollow sensation in your chest after a long night of arguing, a feeling that something is fundamentally wrong, not just with the relationship, but with the reality you've allowed yourself to inhabit. This is not a list of toxic traits. This is an exploration of the psyche. Carl Jung taught us that our relationships are mirrors. They show us the parts of our own shadow we haven't integrated. If you keep attracting the same destructive energy, it's because a part of you is still unconscious. You are following a script you didn't write, playing a role in a tragedy you didn't cast. Today, we peel back the mask. We are going to look at the 5 archetypes of women who do not seek a partner, but a host. These are the types that will not just break your heart, they will dismantle your identity. If you find yourself in the orbit of one of these figures, this video is your signal to wake up. This is the moment the automated life ends and the authentic life begins. We begin with the most seductive trap of all, the eternal victim. She is draped in a narrative of constant tragedy. Everyone in her past has wronged her. Her ex was a monster. Her parents were cold. Her boss is a tyrant. And the world is a conspiracy designed to keep her down. At first, your hero archetype awakens. You want to be the one who finally treats her right. You want to be the light that guides her out of the storm. But here is the ruthless truth Jung would tell you. The eternal victim is not looking for a savior. She is looking for a witness to her suffering. She has built her entire identity around being wronged. If you solve her problems, she loses her identity. Therefore, she will subconsciously create new problems to keep the narrative alive. In this dynamic, your role is to be a battery. You provide the emotional current, the money, the time, and the validation, and she consumes it to fuel her next crisis. You will eventually realize that no matter how much you give, the hole is bottomless. You aren't a partner. You are a prosthetic limb for a soul that refuses to walk on its own. If you stay, you will eventually become the villain in her next story. It is inevitable. The second type is the one who feels like a soulmate in the first 48 hours. This is the mirror of chaos. She doesn't just like what you like, she becomes you. She mirrors your hobbies, your values, and your intensity. It feels like a synchronicity, as if the universe finally delivered the one person who truly understands you. But look closer. This isn't a connection. It's a lack of a self. Jung spoke of the anima, the feminine image in the male psyche. The mirror of chaos knows how to project your own anima back at you so perfectly that you fall in love with a reflection of yourself. But because she has no internal core, her identity is like a shifting tide. She lives in a state of psychic fragmentation. There is no middle ground, only the peak of ecstasy or the valley of despair. Living with her is like walking through a minefield during a beautiful sunset. You are always one wrong word away from a total collapse. She will demand that you stabilize her world, but a person with no internal peace can never be stabilized by an external force. Stay away, or you will find yourself lost in her storm, forgetting where she ends and you begin. The third type is subtle. She doesn't scream, she sighs. She is the architect of guilt. This is the woman who uses love as a currency for control. She is often highly functional, perhaps even perfect on the surface. She does everything for you, but every act of service is a debt she expects you to pay back with your freedom. She uses the mask of the nurturer to hide a deep, unconscious need for power. When you try to pursue your own path, she doesn't forbid it. She simply makes you feel like a bad person for wanting it. She uses disappointment as a weapon. After everything I've done for you, this is how you act? This is a form of psychic massification. She wants to turn you into a statistical part of her perfect life puzzle. You are not a human being with a soul to her. You are a role to be played. If you don't play the role, she triggers your deepest insecurities and childhood wounds. This relationship is a slow suffocation. It is a normal life that Jung warned was a sophisticated trap. It offers you stability in exchange for your spontaneity. Do not make that trade. The fourth type is a product of our modern, massified culture. The void of validation. She lives for the persona, the social mask. Her value is determined entirely by the gaze of others. She is the woman who is more concerned with how the relationship looks on a screen than how it feels in the bedroom. She seeks status partners, not soul partners. To her, you are an accessory, like a watch or a car. You are there to signal her value to the world. The moment you stop being useful to her image, perhaps you lose your job, or you go through a period of sadness, she will discard you without a second thought. She has no internal life because she has spent her whole existence decorating the exterior. Jung said that the greatest threat to the soul is unconscious adaptation to the inauthentic. To be with the void of validation is to live in a desert. There is no water, no depth, no meaning. You will feel a profound loneliness even when sitting right next to her, because there is no self there to meet you. You are talking to a billboard, not a woman. Finally, we reach the most destructive force, the chaos bringer. Some people are addicted to the high of adrenaline that comes with conflict. To them, peace feels like boredom. This woman thrives on triangulation, pitting you against your friends, your family, or other men to keep you in a state of permanent agitation. She creates tests that you are designed to fail. She picks fights on the nights you are most tired. She thrives in the rupture and repair cycle. Jung would say she is possessed by her own animus in a negative way. A driving, aggressive force that seeks to dominate and destroy. If you stay with a chaos bringer, your body will eventually pay the price. Chronic stress, cortisol spikes, and the loss of your inner sanctuary. She will tell you that this is passion. It is not. It is a pathology. Real love is a base from which you explore the world. It is not the war you return to every night. Now, we must face the ruthless truth. Why are you still watching? Why does this resonate with you? It is because you have a shadow that is attracted to these types. Perhaps you have a savior complex, and you need the victim to feel worthy. Perhaps you have an abandonment wound, and you tolerate the chaos bringer because any attention feels better than being alone. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. You are not a victim of crazy women. You are a participant in a dance." The reason you need to stay away from these 5 types is not just to protect yourself, it's to force yourself to grow. When you stop accepting the false life provided by these toxic dynamics, you are forced to look in the mirror. You are forced to ask, who am I without the drama? Who am I when I'm not fixing someone else? No one is coming to save you from your bad choices. No perfect woman will arrive to heal the wounds you refuse to look at. The responsibility is yours. You must become the kind of man who no longer vibrates at the same frequency as these archetypes. You must develop a self that is so integrated and so authentic that these masks no longer have any power over you. You are standing at the threshold. You've heard the descriptions. You've likely felt a ping of recognition, a sinking feeling in your gut that says, I know her, I am with her, or I was her. That feeling is your soul screaming. It is the internal crack we talked about. It is the realization that the life you are living is not yours. You are playing a part in someone else's dysfunction. The leap is terrifying. It might mean being alone for a while. It might mean facing the silence of an empty apartment instead of the noise of a chaotic relationship. But on the other side of that silence is your freedom. On the other side of that fear is the individuation process, where you finally become a whole human being. You do not need to fix her. You do not need to understand her more. You need to leave. You need to choose yourself. Leave a mark in the comments. Write, "I choose my peace." This is not for the algorithm. It is for you. It is a symbolic declaration that you are no longer a functional zombie in the hands of a shadow. You are awakening. The path is long, but for the first time, it is your path. If this message reached you at the exact moment you needed to hear it, that's not a coincidence. That's a sign. Don't stop now. Subscribe for more free, valuable videos.